All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the man who taught me this truth. I would like to say shalom to Yakim and Yufuakwath, you men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. It's your brother Micah Allah, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Washai, Lord willing to edify. And the title of this lesson is E will go into captivity. And it's concerning, all you Edomites, that's walking on this planet Earth, whether, you're on the shores of America, which all of you Edomites and all of you heathens in general on the shores of America will be destroyed, but through reincarnation, you will come back and you will be put into captivity under our Lord Yahweh Shai and the rest of the elect, you see? But we're mainly focusing on you Edomites right now because the pride of you Edomites is outrageous. The Lord has completely hardened you people's minds. He sent the spirit of delusion upon you people to honestly have you think and believe in your puny little brain that you think that you're going to escape, the judgments of Yahweh Shemal Shai. You think that you're not going to pay for everything that you've done to the chosen people of the Lord, man. You see? And that's just not the case, because the Lord is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And what have you sown? You've sown nothing but destruction upon the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. And this is justice right here. This is justice. And this is a future prophecy, and this will come to pass, So you Edomites, you should be rejoicing. Continue to live it up while you still can, because that time is definitely fastly approaching. Let's start off right here. This is Obadiah 1 and verse 3. Hold on. Let me make sure this on. This is Obadiah 1 and verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, meaning his mind, who shall bring me down to the ground? And this is the mindset of you average Edomites, man. This is your mindset, That's why I said the pride of your heart have deceived you, You've been deceived by Yahweh Shemal Washai, because the Lord has allowed you to, continue in terror, in the reign of terror for centuries, You terrorized the Israelites for centuries and to this very day, and you still haven't paid for nothing, because the Lord is allowing you to do this. This is a part of the Lord allowing you to build up your tab, allowing you to build up your wickedness to the heavens, to where he will have no choice but to bring you down to the ground, man. It says, let's read it again. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that's pride, man. And this is what they say in their mind. That's why you jakes, when you walk past these Edomites, especially these Edomites down here, in the South, they'll give you that smile, that deceptive ass smile, and they looking at you jakes like they conquered you, because they know exactly what they've done. These Edomites know their history. I mean, you could go back, 60 years ago, 50 years ago, when these Edomites was doing all types of shit to Jake, you know. Hell, you can go back to the crack era. We could bring it more modern. We ain't got to take it all the way back to the 60s or the 50s, when you was just, letting loose on Jake, which that was judgment from Yahweh Shemal Shah. But at the end of the day, you still touch the apple of the Lord's eye, and you have to pay for it. That's the whole point. You have to pay for it. You have to pay for it because the Lord is a just power. You see? The Lord is a fair power. Here it is. He put his own chosen people in captivity. And he said, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So if he loved Jacob, which symbolizes the nation of Israel, and he put us into captivity to this very day, what the hell is he going to do to you Edomites when he said Esau he hates? And I think it's in the Apocrypha where the Lord said, I hated many things, but none like him. Like, this nigga here gots to go. You know what I mean? So the Lord himself, the creator of the heavens and earth, has a perpetual hatred for you Edomites, man. And we come in that same spirit, man. You see? So we're not looking like we got certain Israelite groups out here, or even you regular ass Christians. Let's let bygones be bygones. Let's forgive the white man. You niggas want to say Esau can be saved in these other groups. No, Esau is not going to be saved, man. You see? Esau is not going to be saved. Now, just to bring more clarity, you are going to have Israelites that look like heathens, that look like these other nations because we've been scattered amongst these other nations, to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, roughly paraphrasing. So you're going to have, Israelites that look like Edomites, that look like Hamites, that look like Moabites, so-called Chinese, Ammon, so-called Japanese. But they're actually Israelites that will be saved, and they're of the elect. You are going to have that. But a heathen, actual heathen, they're not going to be saved, man. They're going to receive destruction. And that's what you Jakes have to get through your mind, man. Get out of that that Willie Lynch syndrome shit, man. That Willie Lynch spirit. Because even your enemy put that on you for you to look at this man as your equal or as somebody you should trust. That's why we always go back to what Yahweh Shemal Shah say. Fuck what everybody else got to say. We let the words of the Most High be true and every man a liar, Because you Israelites, you look at the fruits, look at the actions, the works that came behind us listening to what man say, What justice did we get out of listening to man? Time after time, we've been shown to not trust in what man say. But Yahweh Shemal Shah said, never trust thine enemy. Point blank, period. That's straight commandment. Never trust him. Never trust him. It don't matter how much the nigga smile, how much he may seem like, he want to be your friend. Like the scripture tell you, though he come crouching, though he humbleth himself, beware of that nigga. You got to watch him. This ain't what, like the Elder Aram always say, them middle-aged Edomites, them be the most fiery, most deceptive ones. You see? They try to act like they your friend, like they wouldn't hurt a fly. you know. Hell, I was working with this one Edomite. He's so destructive. He driving, I think it was a squirrel in the road. This nigga punched the gas to the floor, you know what I mean, and intentionally tried to run the squirrel over. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga, man? But just to show you how destructive this nigga is, man. You know, when he could have, it could have easily been avoided, but this nigga gonna punch the gas, and that gave him an excitement because he is as deaf. That's what you Jace have to understand. Esau is as deaf. It's a reason why the Lord told us not to trust him, man. You see? Hell, this the same devil, you know, concerning these elites, you know, that actually think that they're going to fight and win against Yahweh Shai when he returns, man, with the host of heavens. This the same nigga that's finna try to fight against his own creator. That shows you how, number one, demonic and stupid this nigga is, man. That's why he said in his mind, who shall bring me down to the ground? They don't believe that they're going to be taken down by the Lord, man. Even though the Lord has showed him numerous of chariots, he's seen the physical, features of the angels. You know, hell, Edomites will tell you on certain interviews that's in high positions, you know, in the military. They'll tell you that the angels look like so-called black men that never been conquered before. You know, they're over 7 feet tall. Yeah, the nigga describing the angels to you. But he's still gonna try to fight against Yahweh Shai and the angels, man. You see? He knows the history of the Israelites. You see? He knows the history of the Israelites, man. When our power is on our side. Continuing on, it says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars. Yeah, and this happened, you know, when you put your little satellites in the in space, you know. That's when I think that was during the time during the 60s, you know. You set your nest among the stars. Who allowed you to do that, though? The Lord did. Just for this reason here. The Lord allowed you to establish, you know, your pride by establishing America, you know. But we're in a time where all of that is about to be destroyed, man. Real soon. It says, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Washai. You see? So yeah, the Lord allowed you to establish yourself on high, you know, just to bring you down, man. This Leviticus 24. Matter of fact, let me get that in the NLT. It's Leviticus 24 at verse 19 in the NLT. It says, anyone who injures another person must be dealt with according to the injury afflicted. Exactly. You reaping what you sow. So it's a fraction for a fraction. And guess what? This is how Yahweh Shemel Washai deals. This is in our law. You see? This is in our law. In our law, where the law of Yahweh Shemel Washai is about to be implemented in the planet Earth very soon, once this place is destroyed. And this is how existence is going to be ran from that day going forward. You know, this is how the earth is going to be governed with these laws, statutes, and commandments that Yahweh Shemel Washai, you know, created, you know, or set in place. It says a fraction for a fraction, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Whatever anyone does to injure another person must be paid back in kind. You see? So you must be paid back the same way, man. You see? It says, here it go right here. It says, verse 21, whosoever kills an animal must pay for it in full. And you Edomites, you killed Gad, livestock, all the buffalo. You slaughtered so many thousands of buffaloes just to starve out Gad. You know, I forget the time frame when that happened, but you could look it up on Google. Just type in, white men kills Native American buffaloes, and you could read that history. Matter of fact, let's go there now. Shit, let's go there now. Yep, Yellowstone. That's what it was. So the history of Esau, you know what I mean? It's plain as, it's here. You can't hide this shit, man. Then this from the AI overview. It says, in the 19th century, white men killed white men killed Native American buffalo as part of a federal campaign to remove indigenous people. And these are Israelites right here. This is the tribe of Gad that he did this to. It says to remove indigenous people, what they had the Indian Removal Act, and I think who was on the forefront of that was Andrew Jackson, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it says from to remove indigenous people from their land. See, you stolen land that didn't fucking belong to you, man. And you claiming it as your own. And you know what's so fucked up? The Lord has the whole planet Earth that's big as hell. But this demonic, greedy bastard here would rather conquer somebody else's shit than go find some land of his own. Because it ain't like back then land was just closed off, that he didn't have no access to it. Like the area was radioactive or some crazy shit. No, that was free land, you know what I mean, that this man could have possessed. This nigga got a whole earth he could have traveled. But that shows you that, the wrath of the Lord was upon Gad, for Esau to, take these certain measures just to destroy us, man. That shows you that that was the wrath of the Lord rising up against us because we the ones that transgress. So it's a reason for this dude acting like this. But then again, he has to be paid back for this, man. It says, by eliminating their primary food and resource, so they basically sieged them, cut off their food supply and resources. It says this slaughter was driven by motives like controlling land, a desire for a cattle culture, and viewing the buffalo as a symbol of an uncivilized West. It says the near extinction of the herds was largely the result of a massive coordinated effort by both government-supported hunters and the U.S. Army. And that puts America on the scene of the crime once again. And that's why the Lord is going to fucking destroy this whore. It says, particularly in the 1870s, which decimated the population and forced tribes onto reserves until this very day. You see? So until this very day, this man has Gad on fucking reservations on their land. You see? So continuing on, Salaki, bear with me. Continuing on, verse 21, it says, whosoever kills an animal must pay for it in full. You see? And he didn't pay for none of it. The animals that he killed, you know, they didn't belong to him. He didn't, it's not like he did it to eat. No, he had wicked motives. He did it to further oppress the tribe of Gad, man. But it says, but whosoever, and he never paid it back, you know. It says, but whosoever kills another person must be put to death. So you Edomites, you must be put to death. But you also are going to go into captivity. You see? Let's go here. It's Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah. I'm going to get ready to close it up. This Isaiah 14 and verse 1. It says, the Lord, Yahweh Shemel, will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. See, Lord is only dealing with Israel. And set them in their own land. You see, and this is a future prophecy that will come to pass. So though we're not in our homeland as of today, you do have certain Jakes that's over there. But, you know, as a whole, the nation of Israel isn't occupying that land. You know, we're not in control. And those are not, and that proves that those small hats that's over there in the land today, those are not the real people. Because the Lord said he will set them in their own land. It says, and the strangers, meaning the Israelite foreigners, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So the Lord said he was going to set himself is going to set the Israelites in their own land. The Lord was going to do this, you know. So it says, and the people shall take them. Who is this them? The heathen. And bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh Shemel for servants and handmaids. You see, slaves. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. You see, so we're going to rule over our oppressors, man. You see, and this is predestinated. So it's nothing you Edomites can do to try to reverse it. You can try to stop prophecy all you want. The words of the Lord will be fulfilled, man. You see? It says, and it shall come to pass in that day, or in the day, that Yahweh Shemel shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. You see? This is a future prophecy. And from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. You see? So we were made, you know, to serve in this time. We supposed to be slaves right now. We are yet this day in our captivity. But this the way that Yahweh Shemel set it up, man, because we transgress. You see? But how's the Lord going to balance things off? He's going to give us rulership, man. What you think Yahweh Shah was promoting over 2,000 years ago when he walked the planet Earth? He was promoting rulership over our enemies. And that was during the time of the Roman Empire, man. The ancient Roman Empire. You see? He was promoting rulership. The Lord was giving us the grass that would be green on the other side, which is ruling over our oppressors, man. You see? Through Yahweh Shah. You see? Jumping down to the 21st verse. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. You see? It says, for I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh Shemel of hosts. See, vengeance is the Lord's, man. We don't have to do nothing but believe. Believe the report. Yahweh Shema Shah got everything already written, already planned out how it's going to work in the favor of the elect of the nation of Israel, and eventually for the nation of Israel as a whole, you see. But starting with the elect, the Lord already got the victory already wrote out, man, and how he's going to deal with Esau, Edom, as well as these heathens, you see. So the Lord's going to rise up, for us, man. It says, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew self Yahweh Shema Shah, you see. And eventually, after those 1,000 years of hardcore bondage, you Edomites, you're gonna be burnt up, man. There's gonna be no need for you to exist anymore, But I got some more, but that's pretty much the point. And close it out right there. Lord willing, that was edifying. I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the men who taught me this truth. Peace and blessings be to the hopeful elect, you men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.